according to the request given by your classmate Nandakumar, we are moving toward the second portion of forensic medicine textbook, that is toxicology. So in your college department, I think the general consideration in toxicology has finished according to your Nandakumar. So I'm going to cover from the last chapters: cardiac poisons, asphyxiants, and food poisoning. I'm going to cover just exam point of view. Please listen carefully. It will be definitely useful to get very good marks in your university. Not only theory examination, you can get very good marks in practical examination also. Let us go to the slides. So I just want to start with the classification of poisons. This classification of poisons I displayed, the slide is most commonly used by the toxicologists all over the world. The mnemonic for classification of poisons is CINCAM, CINCAM. CINCAM stands for corrosives, irritants, neurotoxic, cardiac poisons, asphyxiants, and miscellaneous. So in exams, whatever the poison you ask to write, classify your questioned poison in this category, you will get some extra marks. So let us see one by one. Corrosives are subdivided into acid, alkali, and mineral salts. Acids are subclassified into organic acids and inorganic acid poison. Examples for organic acid corrosives are oxalic acid, acetic acid, and carbolic acid poison. Inorganic corrosive acids examples we know very well: sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and hydrochloric acids. The next subclassifications in corrosives is alkali poisons. Examples for corrosive alkalis are carbonates of sodium and potassium. Similarly, hydroxides of sodium and potassium. Then the last classification in corrosives is mineral salts. Examples for mineral salts corrosives are ferric chloride, copper sulfate, and zinc chloride, etc. The next one is irritants. The classification irritants is subdivided into organic irritant, inorganic irritant, mechanical irritant, and agricultural irritant. Organic irritants are once again subclassified into two types: vegetable organic irritant and animal organic irritant. Examples for animal organic irritant we know very well: venom of a snake and cantharides, bees, swabs. These are all some other examples. Vegetable irritant, Abrus precatorius, croton, castor oil, calotropis, etc. These are all examples for vegetable organic irritant. For inorganic irritant, this section is once again subdivided into metallic irritant and a non-metallic irritant. Examples for non-metallic irritant we have bromine, iodine, chlorine. Metallic irritant we know very well: arsenic, antimony, zinc, mercury, lead, etc. For mechanical irritant we have powdered glasses or human hair or animal hair, and dust of diamond. These are all examples for mechanical irritants. Then last one, agricultural irritant, we have organophosphorus compound poisoning, organochlorine compound poisoning, herbicides, weedicides, paraquat, etc. Then neurotoxic. Among the CINCAM, we are moving the third one, neurotoxic. N stands for neurotoxic. Neurotoxic poisons are acting either centrally or in the spinal cord or in the peripheral nervous system. Centrally acting neurotoxics are subdivided into three groups. First group is stimulant, second one is depressant, third one is deliriant. Examples for stimulant, we are using the most common central nervous system stimulant toxic, caffeine, in the present tea and coffee. Then after caffeine, we have methylphenidate, amphetamine. These are all examples for stimulant. Please note that alcohol is not a stimulant. Initially, it acts like a stimulant, but it sub-classified in the depressant of brain. So, what are the other depressant? Ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, anesthetic agent, hypnotics, sedatives. These are all examples for a depressant central nervous system neurotoxic agent. Then deliriant, we have datura plant, then belladonna. These are all examples for deliriant neurotoxic agents. Then agents acting on spinal cord, we have naxoamica and gelsemium. These are all two examples for actions on the spinal cord. For peripheral nerve system, we have two drugs, curare and conium. Then among the SYNCAM, we are moving the fourth letter, cardiac one, nicotin, digitalis, oleander, aconite. These are all examples for cardiac poisons. Please note that in the last university examination, in one-word questions, the question asked was cardiac poison. If you write these four drugs, nicotin, digitalis, oleander, aconite, you will have quarter marks for each drug. If you write all the four, you will get 1 mark. That's all. Then asphyxiants, then miscellaneous. So we will see today cardiac poisons, asphyxiants, and miscellaneous. In miscellaneous, we have two types of poison: food poisoning and botulism. So let us discuss the cardiac poisons one by one in detail. The first one is Nicotiana tabacum. The pictures showing in the slide is a plant of Nicotiana tabacum. Is a perennial herbs. It growing entire year in all over the world. It grows for the height of 1 to 2 meters. All the parts are poisonous agent. Most common poisons are leaves. Dried leaves contain nicotine, what we are using the tobacco. These are all the active principles present in the Nicotiana tabacum. Acrolein, anabasine, anatabine, anatolin, anethole, anthalin, sembrin, discontinuing, choline, glucosides, nicotellin, nicotine, nicotianine, nornicotin, and pyrin. Among these numerous active principles, we'll see about nicotine in detail. What is nicotine? Nicotine is a liquid, is a hygroscopic liquid. It's a oily, volatile, hygroscopic liquid. It is colorless, very little bitter taste. But if exposed in the air, it becomes brown in color. So nicotine is a oily, volatile liquid. What is the mode of absorption? The nicotine absorbed through the mucous membrane of all of the body, respiratory passage, gastrointestinal tract, and some amount is absorbed through skin also. It is getting metabolized in the liver and excreted mostly through urine. What is the mechanism of action? Nicotine acts on the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. NACHR stands for nicotine acetylcholine receptors. These are acting as a cholinergic agonist. So it also acts in the afferent fibers of sensory nerve system and neuromuscular junction. So what are all the clinical features of acute nicotine poisoning? Please remember that the nicotine is a cardiac poison, and initially it acts as a stimulant. Later on, after 1 hour or 2 hours, it becomes depressant. So central nervous system, cardiovascular system, initially the pulse rate and BP is getting shoot up, tachycardia and hypertension. Later on, after 1 or 2 hours, the symptoms will become hypotension, shock, and arrhythmias. When ingested, as usual, like all the poisons, it is giving rise to nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. In respiratory system, initially because of the stimulant nature, it is giving rise to tachycardia. Then later on, become bradypnea, respiratory depression, and death. In central nervous system, because of stimulant nature in early phase, agitation, tremors, and sweating. Later on, hypotonia, convulsions, coma, and death. What about the clinical features in chronic poisoning? In chronic poisons, we have anemia and generalized weakness, anorexia, peptic ulcer, loss of appetite. In respiratory system, we have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, bronchiectasis, pneumonia, emphysema. Then in central nervous system, loss of memory, loss of coordination, tremors, Alzheimer's disease. What is the fatal dose of nicotine? If it is nicotine taken straight away, 50 to 100 milligram nicotine is enough to kill the individual. If it is crude tobacco, 15 to 30 gram is needed to kill the individual. The fatal period, death will occur within 5 to 15 minutes of time. How we are going to treat the individual with acute poisoning of the nicotine? Generally, the treatment phase for all the poisonings, airway, breathing, circulation, treating the depression of brain, then gastric lavage. By help of potassium permanganate solution or tannic acid, gastric lavage should be done. Specifically for nicotine, we used forced alkaline diuresis. What is forced alkaline diuresis? Forced alkaline diuresis is making urine in the pH in the range of from 7.5 up to 9. In this case, after alkalinization of urine, the drug will excreted fast through the urine. For that, soda bicarb solution of 0.04% is infused with the addition of 1 liter of normal saline. Almost 250 to 500 ml of the solution is rushed through intravenously per hour. In this case, the metabolized nicotine products will get excreted through urine. What is the antidote? Injection atropine sulfate given to treat bradycardia. Injection hexamethonium should be given subcutaneously. Mecamylamine oral tablet or specific antidote for acute nicotine poisoning. Pempidine is the latest drug for nicotine treatment. Then symptomatic. How to treat chronic nicotine poisoning? Mecamylamine per oral should be given. For chronic poisoning, we have give specific treatment, nicotine replacement therapy. Nicotine replacement therapy will be given in the form of either spray or a transdermal patch or lozenges or gums. These are all the forms available to replace the nicotine. What is the cause of death? We have seen already. Cardiorespiratory failure is the cause of death. What is the postmortem appearance? On examination of oral mucosa, there will be a brownish discoloration of the mucosa because of nicotine tobacco consumption. and other signs of asphyxia like petechial hemorrhages, extreme congestion of visceral organs, then cyanosis of lips, nails, and earlobes. Sometimes in stomach, we may find some undigested or partially digested dried leaves of nicotine, tobacco. What are all the circumstances of nicotine poisoning, otherwise called as medico-legal importance of nicotine? Malingering. For example, these dried tobacco leaves will be getting soaked in the water for some time. After that, the soaked tobacco leaves will be kept between the both axilla and arms. There will be tight bandage will be applied. These things will be kept in the entire night. After that, in the morning, if we examine the individual, there are signs of nicotine poisoning. It's called malingering. And nicotine was once upon time, it uses arrow poisons. For smugglers, those who are smuggling the tobacco leaves, they are keeping the tobacco leaves in the rubber tube inside the rectum. Sometimes the rubber tube may get burst out. They are died of acute nicotine poisoning. Accidental poisoning also common, but suicidal and homicidal are very rare. Next drug is digitalis purpura. We have read many things about digitalis in the pharmacology. So what is the mechanism of action in digitalis purpura? Digitalis purpura is all the parts of a plant are poisonous agent. It in the cardiac cycle, it prolongs the diastolic phase, and it increases the excitability of the myocardium. These are all the mechanism of action. These are all active principles: digitoxin, digoxin, digitalin, and digitonin. What are the clinical features of digitalis poisoning? Digitalis poison is a cardiac poison. It gives arrhythmia, SA node block, and AV node block. As usual, if get ingested, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and anorexia. The CNS factors: headache, dizziness, muscle weakness, delusions, delirium, depression, and disorientation. Endocrine, we have gynecomastia. What is the fatal dose? If the active principle is digitalin, 15 to 30 milligram is fatal dose. If it is digitoxin, 4 milligram is enough. If it is digoxin, 10 milligram. The individual will die within 1 to 24 hours fatal period. What is the treatment? Once again, after airway, breathing, circulation, tannic acid will be used to wash the entire stomach. Activated charcoal also used. The specific antidote is digoxin specific antibody fragment should be given intravenously. Then to treat bradycardia, injection atropine sulfate will be given intravenously. Then we have seen the excitability of the myocardium is getting increased. There will be simultaneous production of extrasystoles. To treat the extrasystoles, potassium salt will be used. To treat the ventricular, see in cardiovascular system, arrhythmias will occur. So to treat the arrhythmia, phenytoin intravenously should be given, and to treat the ventricular irritability, either propranolol or dilantin or lignocaine intravenously should be given. Then next poison is Nerium odorum. Nerium odorum is a permanent roadside shrub-like plant. All the parts of the plant are poisonous agent except root. otherwise called as Nerium oleander or white oleander or pink oleander. Nothing but arali, chebbarali. What are the active principles of Nerium odorum? We have 4 active principles: Nerin, Folinerin, Oleandrin, and Rosagenin. It inhibits the sodium potassium ATPase. So the delays the repolarization of action potential, increase the excitability of the cardiac muscle. So whenever ingested in the GI tract, dysphagia, abdominal pain, nausea and vomiting and diarrhea. Initially it is bradycardia, hypotension, fibrillation, AV block. In central nervous system, muscle twitching, tetanic spasms, drowsy and coma. The cause of death is congestive cardiac failure. What is the management of Nerium odorum? Atropine is the treat the bradycardia. The specific antidote is digoxin specific antibody fragment. If digoxin specific antibody fragment is not available, give insulin and dextrose. Temporary pacing may be done. Cardioversion is the life-saving treatment of choice. What are the circumstances of Nerium odorum poisoning? It's most commonly using suicidal poisoning in the village side. It is one of the best example for ideal suicidal poisoning. You know very well that what are all the characters of ideal suicidal poison. It should be cheap, it should be easily available, it should be highly toxic, it should be tasteless or with pleasant taste, give painless death. Homicidal also rare. Homicidal may be the decoction of the Nerium odorum can be mixed with the tea and given to the victims. Once again, it was used as abortifacient agent. It also accidental poisoning are recorded. In the old King Alexander army, the horses were eaten the Nerium odorum plant accidentally, and after horse eating, the army person soldiers have taken this Nerium odorum. Both horses and soldiers have died accidentally by consuming Nerium odorum. Sometimes the smoke of the stem may be helped to kill the individual. It also used as an arrow poison or dart poison. It resists putrefaction. There was a study, there was an extraction of Nerium odorum poison from the highly putrefied body and ashes of the victim after completely burned. Next one is Cerbera thievetia. It's a type of oleander. Because of this thievetia, it is called as a bastard plant also. Thievetia bastard plants. All flower, fruit, leaves are poisonous. Leaves are lanceolate, slender, long leaf, green in color, with a thick, deep vein present on the surface of the leaf. The fruit is spherical nature. One deep groove is running in the exactly half of the fruit. Flowers are long, yellowish, bell-like. 5 petals are there. See the mnemonic. The flowers are 5 centimeter long and 5 centimeter wide in diameter externally, and they are having 5 lobes or 5 petals. The fruit is having 5 centimeter diameter. After the ripened fruit, if we open in the nut, there will be 5 pale yellow seeds. So 5 characters are there: 5 centimeter long, 5 centimeter wide, 5 lobes or 5 petals. Hello? So 5 centimeter diameter of fruit, ripe fruit. 5. If we open the dried nut, we have seen 5 pale yellow seeds are there. What are the active principles of cerebra thiotia? From the cerebra, we have taken cerberin. From thiotia, we have taken thevitin, thevitoxin. Also, ovabine, nerifolin, ruoside, or some other examples for active principles. Clinical features: when we ingested, there will be a tingling and a numbness in the entire GI mucosa, especially mouth, pharynx, esophagus up to stomach. There will be entire dryness of upper respiratory tract, dysphagia, then nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. This also producing tachyarrhythmias, coma, death. Fatal dose is 5 to 10 leaves or 8 to 10 seeds or fatal dose. Death will occur within 2 to 3 hours. Treatment: sodium molar lactate solution with atropine and adrenaline or noradrenaline may be helpful to treat the cerebral thiotia poisoning. Then aconite is the most commonly asking short notes in the university examination. What is aconite? The word aconite is derived from the Latin word acon, A-K-O-N, acon. Acon is the Latin word for dart or javelin. Why this aconite plant was the first plant used in arrow poison. So the aconite word will be coined. What is aconite? Aconite is a plant, otherwise many names are there: monk food, or blue helmet, or wolf's ban, or women's ban, etc. So the roots are poisonous one in the aconite plant. We have two types of roots in the picture. On your left hand side, we have roots of aconite. On your right hand side, we have roots of horseradish. Why? Because the aconite roots are frequently accidentally thinking of horseradish. How to differentiate roots of aconite and horseradish? When we examine the size and shape, the aconite roots are conical and smaller, but for horseradish, it is long, slender, and tubular or cylindrical. Like color, externally, it is a dark brown in color in case of aconite root, but whitish yellow having horseradish. When you look color after cutting the roots, both are white in color, but when exposed to air, the aconite root will get into pink one, but no color change in horseradish. When we taste, the aconite is initially it was sweet, but horseradish it is unpleasant bitter taste. These difference between aconite root and horseradish root is frequently asking short notes, so please note that. What are all the active principles of aconite? We have aconitine and many sub-aconitines are there: big aconitine, indaconitine, mesaconitine, hypaconitine, just aconitine, unaconitine, lapaconitine, picraconitine, pseudoaconitine, and at last aconine. So these are all active principles in aconite. What is the mechanism of actions of aconite poisoning? It acts on the sodium channel in the heart muscle. It opens up the sodium channel and admits influx of many sodium ions inside the cardiac muscle. So it delays the repolarization of action potential. So there was premature excitation of cardiac muscles. What are the clinical features of aconite poison? When if it is inhaled, it acts like narcotic poisons. When it is contact, it gives tingling and a numbness on the contact area. If it is ingested, please note that it's a cardiac poison. So increased BP, increased pulse rate, atrial arrhythmia, ventricular arrhythmia. These atrial and ventricular arrhythmia are highly resistant to even defibrillator treatment. Then bundle branch block. Respiratory system, there will be shortness of breath and the patient may feel severe compression of chest. As usual, in GET, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. In central nervous system, headache, dizziness, confusion, disorientation, ataxia. Then what is the cause of death? In acute poison, the individual died due to ventricular fibrillation. The fatal period is 2 to 6 hours. How we are managing acute poison? Gastric lavage with weak solution of tannic acid or potassium iodide. Atropine is some other antidote. Activated charcoal will be used for gastric lavage. Cardiac monitoring necessary. Acute poison, post-mortem appearances, there will be no specific findings. We have identified signs of asphyxia. Sometimes in the stomach, the content undigested or partially digested aconite root may be present. What are the medico-legal importance of aconite poison? As we have seen earlier, it is the first poisonous agent used as arrow poisons. What is arrow poison? The poisonous juice will be soaked with the help of arrow. Then to kill the animals, the arrow is thrown on the body of the animal. Then accidental, we have seen many times the aconite root have ingested accidentally in thinking of a horseradish root. Sometimes it will be mixed with alcohol to enhance the poisoning agent. Then abortifacients, cattle poisons. Once upon a time in northern India, aconite was used as a homicidal poison. It will be given with the betel leaves. Sometimes with the tetrodotoxin, the poisonous effects will be increased. Suicide is very rare. Then we completed cardiac poisons. We have seen nicotine, digitalis, oleander, and aconite. The second portion is asphyxiants. How we classify asphyxiants? Asphyxiants are subdivided into 4 subclassifications. We have volatile drugs and the irritants, chemical asphyxiants, and simple asphyxiants. What is volatile drugs? These are all inhaled agents. They are not injuring or irritating the upper airway passages or lower airway passages, but after absorption into the systemic circulation, they are exerting their poisonous effects in the kidney, liver, or other vital organs. Examples are anesthetic agent. They are not irritating the upper respiratory tract infection, but they are getting metabolized in the internal organs, especially in the brain. They are exerting the toxic effects. After the examples of anesthetic drugs, we have aliphatic hydrocarbons, aromatic hydrocarbons are volatile drugs. The second one is irritant or respiratory irritant. The respiratory irritants are examples are ammonia, formaldehyde, hydrogen sulfate, etc. These are irritating the entire respiratory tract and produced inflammatory changes in the respiratory tract. Chemical asphyxiants. These chemical asphyxiants are, after getting absorbed into the circulation, they are producing anoxic effect with the multiple complex mechanism. Examples for chemical asphyxiants: carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrocyanic acid. simple asphyxiant. These are the inert gases. They are just displacing the oxygens from the environment. Examples: nitrogen, helium, argon, etc. Treatment for simple asphyxiants, just treating with the help of oxygen, the patient will recover. The replaced oxygen by the toxic agents is once again replaced by the treating oxygen. But in case of chemical oxygens, mere oxygen treatment will not help to treat the patient. The patient may need some other antidote to treat the individual. The first asphyxiant is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, irritantless gas. Its mechanism of action is it easily combines with hemoglobin or myoglobin. It has a greater affinity, almost 40% of more affinity with the myoglobin than oxygen, or it has greatest affinity like 200 to 400 times more affinity with the hemoglobin than oxygen. It interferes with the cellular respiration by inhibiting the oxidative phosphorylation of the mitochondria. It is otherwise called as exhaust gas or smoke gas. It is lighter than oxygen. What are all the signs and symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning? After combining with the hemoglobin, it produces carboxyhemoglobin. Depending upon the percentage of carboxyhemoglobin present in the blood, signs and symptoms will occur. If it is less than 10% of carboxyhemoglobin, no signs will be present. If it is 10 to 20%, mild headache will be there. If it is 20 to 30%, moderate headache will be there. If it is 30 to 40% carboxyhemoglobin, the headache will be very severe. Then if the carboxyhemoglobin is 30 to 40%, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, disorientation will be there. If the percentage is above 40, below 50, the individual feel constriction of chest and breathlessness. It is more than 50 and less than 60, the individual will collapse. The level of 60 to 70, the individual is in coma, loss of consciousness. If it is above 80, death will occur. For the treatment of carbon monoxide poisoning, remove the patient from the source of poisoning. 100% of oxygen will be given. Gastric lavage with the help of activated charcoal. Don't give hyperbaric oxygen. You have to give pure oxygen, 100% oxygen. Hyperbaric oxygen will give nausea, vomiting, convulsions, rupture of tympanic membrane, agitations. Sometimes the whole blood transfusion may need. Antibiotics may be need to treat if any infections are there because of carbon monoxide poisoning. The individual will be kept up to 48 hours for observation. There will be cerebral edema there. To treat cerebral edema, anti-edema measures like IV mannitol may be used. What are the post-mortem appearance? The post-mortem hypostasis will be cherry red discoloration of tissues. See, generally in case of poison, the bluish discoloration of cyanosis are present in the post-mortem hypostasis. Here, cherry red discoloration. Why? Because generally after somatic death, before cellular death, the cell is continuously acting in the capillary level to extract oxygen from the oxyhemoglobin. Here, the cellular oxidative respiration is blocked by the carboxyhemoglobin. So there will be no extraction of oxygen from the oxyhemoglobin. So there will be accumulation of oxyhemoglobin in the capillaries. These accumulation of oxyhemoglobin is responsible for cherry red discoloration of the hypostasis. Then postmortem cutaneous blisters are there due to ischemia of the dermatocytes. Ischemia of coronary leads to pneumonia, myocardial infarction, lobar pneumonia are there. Then asphyxial signs like deep dark red petechial hemorrhages, congestion of visceral organs, fluidity of blood. What are the medical legal importance? Suicidal is very rare because the carbon monoxide is the exhaust gas. If the individual want to suicide, he has to trap himself inside the closed car or any other vehicle. Then the exhaust pipe will diverted into the closed car. This is the method of suicide by using carbon monoxide. Accidental poisons. Many times children may get trapped inside the closed car, running car. They could not know how to open up and coming out from the closed car. They'll be victims of accidental carbon monoxide poisoning. Homicidal poisoning is very rare. How to identify carbon monoxide poisoning? We have a Kunkel test. We have two types of tests, Kunkel test and a Hope-Silas test. What is Kunkel test? Carboxy hemoglobin plus 9 parts of water. If you add a few drops of 3% aqueous tannin, pinkish white precipitate will be occur. But in normal blood, the brownish white precipitate will occur. The second one is spectroscopy examination. In the spectrum, we have seen clear band of carboxy hemoglobin in the spectroscopic examination. The third one is Hope-Silas test. Few drops of blood will be mixed with 10% of sodium hydroxide. If the pink color appear, it indicates carbon monoxide poisoning. Then the second asphyxiant is hydrocyanic acid. In the picture, there are 3 people are there. On your left side, one of the accused, Somasegar. The middle one is Sophia. The third one is Abraham on your right side. These all the 3 were Indian origin, settled in Australia. On your right side, these are all coupled. On your left side, the extramarital affair. These extramarital affair, boy and the wife, were planned to kill the husband. They have given orange juice mixed with cyanide. Then the wife claimed that death due to sudden natural death. Then after autopsy, it was established that the death was due to cyanide poisoning mixed with orange juice. Generally, all the wild berries or apricot or plum or apple in the seeds, they are having cyanide. If the crushed apple seeds have consumed 143 seeds will be enough to kill the individual. These crushed apple seeds containing amygdalin. These amygdalin will liberate the cyanide inside the small intestines with the help of emulsin, which is secreted in the small intestines. So when we eat these wild berries, apricot or apples, we have to be more careful. Then after autopsy, it was established that the individual was killed with the help of cyanide. So these 2 will be sentenced for 25 years severe rigorous imprisonment in the Australia court. What is hydrocyanic acid? Hydrocyanic acid is the volatile liquid with smell of bitter almond. It's a very important clue in the autopsy. Smell of bitter almond clue. For sources we have seen already: wild berries, apricot, apple, blueberries, etc. Mechanism of action: it inhibits the cytochrome P450 in the cell. If the acid is consumed, the action, the clinical features will be rapid. If the cyanide salts will be consumed, the actions will be delayed. There will be ectopics and defibrillation in the cardiovascular system. In the central nervous system, we have ataxia, coma, and death. Fatal dose concentration of 1 in 500 in air, immediate death. Pure acid, 50 milligram of hydrocyanuric acid will need to kill the individual. Within 2 to 10 minutes, the individual will die. In the LTT people, they are having cyanide always with them in the neck. If they are caught by the opponent, they'll consume the cyanide immediately. They'll die within 2 to 10 minutes. If it is cyanides, the fatal period prolongs up to half an hour. How to treat? The treatment result is depending upon the speed of the treatment. So we have to secure airway and breathing. Of the individual should be removed from the exposure. The amyl nitrate ampule should be opened immediately, and the entire content of the ampule should be poured on a handkerchief or a gauze pad. Then these gauze pad mixed with the amyl nitrate should be given near the nose of the victim to breathe deeply. The amyl nitrite vapor will neutralize the hydrocyanic acid effects. Then 0.3% of sodium nitrate will be given intravenously, followed by that sodium thiosulfate. These sodium thiosulfate will act with the cyanide salt and give rise to sodium thiocyanate. These sodium thiocyanate are non-toxic one. Then COBA-TDTA 4-diaminophenyl is a specific antidote. Gastric lavage should be done with the help of potassium permanganate or hydrogen peroxide solution. These potassium permanganate solution will be almost 100 to 200 ml of solution will be left in the stomach to prevent further absorption of cyanide. If the death is delayed, we can use a mixture of ferrous sulfate and ferric sulfate with potassium carbonate. Sometimes a blood transfusion may need. If the cyanide salt is mercury cyanide salt, British anti-levity used as an antidote. Medico-legal importance of cyanide poisoning. There was one theory: if it is no hydrochloric acid in the stomach, the cyanide salt will not be pursued. This picture showing Grigory of Russian politician. He was tried by their opponent to kill him with the help of potassium cyanide. Because of his chronic alcoholic nature of this Russian politician, he is having achlorhydria. Because of absence of chlorine in the stomach, he was saved. Then suicidal is most common by LTT people. Accidental poisoning may occur workplace. The cyanide will frequently used in the jewelry business. Homicide are very rare. Judicial gassing. In some countries, hydrogen cyanide is used for judicial execution. In this case, the accused will be put in the closed room and he was tightened with the unmovable chairs. Several eggs containing cyanide salts will be thrown in the severe strong acids. After mixing with the egg and the strong acid, the cyanide gas will get liberated. The individual, after inhaling the cyanide gas, he will die within half an hour. Then it resists putrefaction. Even after highly decomposed dead body, the cyanide salts will recovered in the forensic science laboratory. Then the last one, food poisoning. Exam point of view, you can ask what is botulism. Botulism is a type of food poisoning produced by the Bacillus bacterium, Clostridium botulinum. It has exotoxin of 8 types, botulinum A to botulinum G. It is acting in the cholinergic pathway. It is an antagonist of cholinergic system. So after consumption, it gives nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, then abdominal colic pain. It's a poison affecting the central nervous system. So we have diplopia, drooling of eyelids, then diminution of vision. All the third, fourth, and seventh cranial nerves are getting affected by botulism. How to diagnose? We have to, these botulinum, Clostridium botulinum will present in tanned food products and present in soil and soil products. So we have to take a proper history and clinical features. If the food is examined, there is chance of isolation of botulinum, Clostridium botulinum and bacillus and toxin. If we examine the stools of the patient, we can isolate botulinum toxin and the Clostridium botulinum bacillus. What is the treatment? We have to give purgatives and whole bowel irrigation to remove the botulinum toxin from the lower GI tract. Injection botulinum both intramuscularly and intravenously to neutralize the botulinum. Botulinum immunoglobulin IV also given. Guanidine tablet will be given. Alcohol will neutralize the effects of botulinum toxin. So this much, I just want to conclude the session. Thank you so much for listening this topic. So for exam point of view, cardiac poisons is as an entire, it is very important, or they may ask separate poison agent in the 4 marks or 1 mark questions. And differences between aconite root and horseradish root. Last year in the supplementary batch, the hydrogen cyanide poison asked. So these cardiac poison asphyxiation, carbon monoxide poisons are very, very important in exam point of view. And for practical, you may be kept plant poisons like Nerium odorum or Cerebra tivatia. For that, you have to write definitely one of the active principles and medico-legal importance. Thank you.